What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. You might remember, I think it was back in 2019, or it might have been 2020. It was recent. I did a video talking about Bob Dandridge, and I talked about how he was deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, and that he's one of the best players out there who was not yet enshrined in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's a legend from Norfolk State. Um, he was one of the best overall players in the NBA during the 1970s. In my video, you might remember I said that in many ways, he was like the Kawhi Leonard of his generation. He was a great defensive player, and he was noted for his mastery of the mid range. He was a matchup nightmare. When he was guarded against players that were shorter than he utilized his length, his long arms, and his leaping ability, to get off shots against smaller defenders. When he was guarded against guys who may have had a speed advantage as well, he utilized these advantages as well. His length and being able to shoot at certain angles. When he was guarded against guys who were bigger than he was, then he usually was quicker than them, and he utilized his advantages in that way. So he's one of these guys who was a matchup problem. He was also up until today the only player in NBA history to average at least 20 points per game in three different NBA finals and not be in the Hall of Fame. That's no longer the case. Bob Dandridge is in. Now, during his career, Bob Dandridge had some injury issues that I think may have contributed to his delay in the Hall of Fame. Now, he scored 15,530 points. Um, the fact that he didn't get to 20,000 probably hurt him a little bit. I think he had to retire early. I think he was like 31 when he retired, which was still very young to retire in that during that time period. But for his career, Bob Dandridge averaged, I believe, 18 and a half points, 6.8 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. He was a two-time NBA champion, once with the Milwaukee Bucks playing alongside Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson, and then again in 1978 playing alongside the now late Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes. He was a four-time NBA All-Star during a time period where there were a plethora of great small forwards in the NBA. He was on the 1979 All-NBA second team, the 1979 NBA All-Defensive first team, the 1970 NBA All-Rookie first team. His number 10 is retired by the Milwaukee Bucks, and his number 12 is retired by the Norfolk State Spartans. He was, for his NBA career, a very accurate shooter, shooting about 48% from the floor, and he was a dependable foul shooter, shooting 78% for his career. All right, he played at the small forward or shooting guard positions for his career, and this was a more than deserving. He was 6'6" and 195 pounds for his career during the 1970s. So he was considered a very big guard or forward for that time period, and he was more than deserving of being a Hall of Famer. And I'm glad that he's in. If my video had anything to do with it, I like to think it did, then that's great. Look, one thing on my channel is it's not that oh I got a bias against bias for old school guys. It's that these guys are being forgotten, and you might remember that on my channel, I championed Dick Allen, okay, to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, Dick Allen died this past December. And, you know, it's looking like he'll finally get in next year. Unfortunately, it's going to be posthumously. Right now, I plan on doing videos talking about why Dave Parker should be in the Hall of Fame. All right. Dave Parker was at one point considered the best baseball player in the 1970s. All right. Some people want to use the fact that Dave Parker had injury issues and that he had a drug problem as to why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. But yet, these same people have nothing to say about guys like Paul Molitor, who had admitted cocaine addiction. He's in the Hall of Fame. Now, I know Paul Molitor's numbers might be overall a little bit better, but he had a cocaine addiction. And when you look at what Dave Parker was able to accomplish, he had over 2,000 career hits. He hit 290 for his career during a pitcher-friendly era. He won 2 batting titles. All right. I believe he won 2 World Series championships. Going off of memory here, I think he won 2 World Series with Atlanta, with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Oakland Athletics. 7-time or 8-time All-Star. And for a 3 or 4 year window, he was considered the best player in baseball. Yeah, Dave Parker should be in the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, Dave Parker is suffering from, the latter stages of Parkinson's disease. He's not doing very good right now. He's been battling Parkinson's for about a decade now. And, he's no longer that fierce, 6'5", 240 pound, 250 pound giant that we saw out there on the field doing all those great things. Uh, but the point is, I'm not trying to segue and talk these other guys. But on this channel, man, if you haven't figured out by now, I pay homage to the old school guys. Okay, so congratulations to Bob Dandridge. It's long overdue. There was an interview that he did about 8 years ago when it was another disappointing year where he was not selected. He said that he felt that he did enough to be a Hall of Famer. If it wasn't in the cards for him, he wasn't going to let it, you know, make him bitter or embittered. He couldn't control it. So I hope that today is a joyous day for Bob Dandridge, who's 73 years old. And let me say this, it's important for these guys to get these honors while they are still with us. You don't want to have a situation like with Dick Allen, where he's not here. Or you never know a situation that might strike, like a tragedy that took Kobe Bryant away at an age that none of us saw coming. Or a situation like Ron Santo, where he was robbed for so many years of being in the Hall of Fame, and then just before he gets in, he dies. Um, so hopefully everybody will still be here September 11th. And, look, Paul Westphal gets in 2019, and then we lose him the very next year, I believe. So we never know, man. I believe in giving guys these honors, these roses, if you will, while they're still here. You know what I'm saying? But tell what you guys think, especially those of you who remember the great Bob Dandridge during his playing career.